Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you don't know what it is that I do here, never been with me before, I am a love coach specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile and remain together after the trauma of infidelity. You have been traumatized, you have been hurt. This is intense, but this is still your person. This is still the one that you want to be with. You don't want to give up the relationship. You don't want to give up the years that you've invested. You don't want to give up the family that you have worked so hard for just because of their stupid mistake. I am here to tell you that you absolutely can do that. You can stay. You can work things out. It can be better. You can be in a better place sooner than you would think. Just going through and doing the things that will help you to heal from this trauma. And I want to teach you all the things that I've learned about healing from this trauma personally because I went through it too. I am 18 years past the last infidelity, not the first, but the last. And it's intense, but you can get to a place where you feel good and you feel happy and you feel trusting and you feel like it is healed and you have flipped the page and gone on to the next chapter of this life, of this love that you wanted. So I'm here to teach you how to do that, how to get to that next chapter so you can get past this. This doesn't have to be the end of your relationship. It doesn't have to be your only thought in the day. It doesn't have to be the thing that stresses you out every single solitary day. It can get better, and I know how to do it. Come on, join me. We're going to talk about it. All right? So, first things first, I always am going to tell you about these things when we first get together because I want you to know this is a trauma. So, there are certain ways that you can start to handle trauma. There are certain things that you can do that start to combat the effects of the trauma on your body, on your brain. Okay. Very first thing that we're always going to talk about every time we get together is doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? I need you to jump on that. If you have not been doing it, I need you to start doing it ASAP. Okay. Today, right now with me, we're going to do deep breathing, but I want you to be doing this at least five times in a row. Okay. 5 times in a day. Okay. I want you to do this consistently so that your body and your brain know that you intend to heal. You are not trying to stay in that fight or flight mode. When you are hyperventilating, not fully inhaling, not fully exhaling. That's hyperventilation. That is when you are anxious and your body is trying to suck in as much oxygen as it can because your blood flow has actually changed. It's not the same as it was before you got triggered or before you got upset or before you got betrayed. Your blood flow changes to go to your big muscle groups, to your arms, and to your legs, so you can fight or you can run away real fast. So if you automatically feel like that, if your body is automatically doing that, the opposite of that is to slow your breathing down, get in control of it, make sure that you're fully exhaling, fully inhaling, giving yourself a chance to use that oxygen. When you do that, you teach your brain that you do not feel like you need to fight or run. You are safe. Everything is okay. You're going to be all right. Okay. So that's what we need to do our deep breathing for. It's just to train our brains that we're okay. So we're going to do it 3 times together, but I want you to be doing this 5 times a day. Okay. All right. First and foremost, we're going to do 4-7-8 breathing. Now, like I said, you can do any breathing technique that you want as long as you're doing a breathing technique regularly. But this is the one that I like. I like 4-7-8 breathing. That sequence of numbers vibes with me. I can remember even when I'm like tired, even when I'm stressed out, I can remember 4-7-8, 4-7-8. So I've been doing this with groups, with patients, with clients forever. So I remember 4-7-8. But you can do anything, any kind of breathing that you want to do as long as you're doing it. Okay. So 4-7-8 breathing is first thing you blow out. You're going to blow out as much as you possibly can. Exhale and deflate your lungs. We need to get that excess carbon dioxide out of our lungs. When we are anxious, when we have been traumatized, we start to sip in oxygen but never fully blow out and let out carbon dioxide. The more the carbon dioxide builds up in your system, the more your body and your brain believe that you are in danger and something is wrong. So, just the basic thing of blowing and getting that carbon dioxide out of your lungs tells your brain that you're safe all by itself. Okay. Even if you can't remember your deep breathing technique, just blow out if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling like you're about to have a panic attack. Blow until you can't blow anymore. All right. Then we're going to inhale for a count of 4. Gonna hold that breath so that we can actually use the oxygen that we breathe in for a count of 7. And then we're gonna blow out like we're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. When you blow, make the noise of blowing. When you do that, and you're doing that consistently, you're teaching your brain that that's a trigger. Hey, when I hear that sound, that means I'm calming down. That means I'm safe. That means that nothing is going wrong right now. I am okay. And you want to teach your body that, to recognize that, so that you have a trigger that works in your favor. I know that there are triggers that happen that are, really intense and painful and stressful and scary. We can create positive triggers just by making sure that we can hear and feel ourselves blowing out that excess carbon dioxide. Okay. Um, let's see. So we're gonna do this together 3 times in a row. Let me make sure I can see everybody over here. If you're with me, come on in. If you're here on the replay, hashtag replay. But if you're here with me now, make sure you put all your questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything that's going on with you in the comments. I want to hear about it. I want to answer your questions. Okay. I am happy to answer all the questions that you have tonight, right this minute, about healing and reconciling after infidelity. Okay. So I can see everything. Lovely. All right, we're going to do our deep breathing together. All right, I'm going to guide you through it. All you need to do is follow along. If you've never done it before, might take you one go through to catch up with me, but after that, you'll have it. All right, first things first, we're going to blow out. Make the noise. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Let me know in the comments. Put it in the comments. And if you've been doing your deep breathing, put it in the comments. Testify about it. Tell other women that it actually works, because people don't know that it works. I was a nurse for like 25 years. I have been constantly teaching people to do deep breathing. It helps with all sorts of pain. It helps when you have been traumatized and your body is going through something. Giving it oxygen helps. It just does. So if you are in any kind of pain, I used to work with people who had sickle cell anemia on a regular basis. Teaching them deep breathing techniques helped their pain. Even though that is a very physical thing that is happening, they could still get some pain relief just by doing their deep breathing. Okay? All right. Let me know if that alleviates a little pain for you. I hope it does. All right. Next thing, one of the things we always talk about every time we get together, I need you to be doing your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you have not, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need a journal. You need something that is precious to you that you can carry with you, that you can write in, that you can jot down your thoughts, whatever comes to mind in the moment, that you can repeatedly journal in first thing in the morning when you first get up and you are thinking, like, letting all the thoughts come into your head. All of a sudden you're coming from that unconscious state where you're untroubled to the conscious state where all of a sudden you're thinking about the stuff again. That's why you need your journal. Once you get conscious, okay, put all that stuff down in your journal. You do not need it in your head. You don't need to carry it around with you all day. That's not going to help you. What you're doing when you're journaling is taking those negative thoughts, the stressful, fearful thoughts that are coming to your brain, and you're putting them somewhere where your brain knows, I still have this book. This book goes with us. This book is strong. This book is going to have all of my thoughts, all of my fears in it. I can always come back and read it if I need to. I will never forget. That's what your brain is trying to do. It's trying to make sure that you don't forget that you got hurt. Okay. If you take it seriously and write down the thoughts that come to mind and put them in your journal, what you are doing is telling your brain that you understand that it is serious. This is a scary thing that has happened, and we definitely need to pay attention. I'm putting it down in the book. So you don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again to me. I got it. Okay. That helps a ton with those repetitive thoughts. I call it fear speech. It's your brain's way of trying to protect you. It keeps telling you all these negative, terrible thoughts that keep popping up. It's the terrible questions that keep on plaguing you that you want to ask your mate after this betrayal. All of that is normal and natural, but you don't have to live with it forever. That is all I want you to know. I don't want you to have to live with every single day your brain tripping out and telling you awful stuff. You don't need that in your life every day, okay? If you start to journal it on a regular basis, first thing in the morning when you wake up and then right before you go to bed, those two times to start with. Just taking 5 minutes, not writing a book. Don't try that. Okay. You won't want to write anymore if you sit there and write 18 pages and let your hand cramp up the first time you do your journaling. 5 minutes, set a timer, and then you stop. Whatever comes to mind in that 5 minutes, you write on down because that's the most important stuff. That is the stuff that surfaced immediately when you had something in your hand to write with. Those things came to mind immediately. Those are the things that are most important to your brain at the time. So when you're writing those down, you're telling your brain, hey, I hear you. I understand this is important. I'm putting it down in the special book. We can come back to this. I will not forget this. And then your brain calms down on telling you the same thing over and over and over again. Um, let's see. When you are doing your journaling in the morning and in the evening, you need to write down your date, your time, and your level of anxiety. Now, every single time, don't let this slip by because this is important information. It starts off with you doing this in the morning and the evening. But if you write any other times during the day, you need to know those times. You need to know the times where you are the most stressed out, the times where your brain is overacting and all of a sudden you feel bad and you want to write this stuff down. You need to know those times. You need to know what happens in the morning. You write down the time in the morning. Okay, around this time in the morning, I'm thinking this, that, and the third. You will notice that there is a pattern in those thoughts if you know the dates and times that you are writing them down. And then the third thing that you need is your level of anxiety. Level of anxiety gives us a fence around these feelings. They cannot get any bigger than the fence, okay? So a 0 is absolutely everything is beautiful, nothing is wrong, there's no anxiety, all is right with the world. That is a good thing to write down. You need to have those days where you have written down 0 and you can come back to them and you can tell your brain who wants to tell you everything is terrible. You can tell your brain, no, because yesterday I was 0. I might be at a 10 right now, but I had a good day yesterday. It was all right. If you can do that and prove to yourself that your brain is lying to you, you won't fall for it all the time. You won't keep falling into this pit of despair. Everything is wrong. Everything is always bad for me. This relationship is never going to work. You won't fall into that trap because you will have evidence written down in your own handwriting that everything was fine that day. Everything was fine. A couple of days this week, I actually wasn't all that bad off. Everything was okay. When you're doing this on a consistent basis, you will have those days to check back in on and confirm to your brain that it's not all terrible, that you shouldn't be scared all the time, that things go well. Okay? A 10 is an absolute loss of control. A 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked, and you do it. Okay? This is I can't control myself. I am screaming. I am throwing things. I have lost my voice because I can't stop screaming at the top of my lungs. The neighbors are calling the police. All sorts of things happen at a 10. It gets up there. When you are that bad, when the feelings are that bad, that is a 10. It is out of your control. You are not going to be writing in your journal when you're a 10. You can come back later on and say, oh, I was a 10 about an hour ago. I came down to about a 9 now. I got some control over myself. I can control a pen. But yeah, about an hour ago, I was not doing well. All right. You can write that down a little later. All right. It gives you a fence. It gives you, okay, this is as big and as bad as the feelings can get. Because if you don't know how big and bad they can get, your brain starts to tell you they'll get worse and worse and worse and worse. It will never be better. You will never have a good day again. All right. Not true. Not true. That's not what's happening. Okay. All right. Any questions about that? Questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? I am here for you. Let me check. All right. Third thing that I always tell you every time we get together, and this is an important one, I need you to develop an attitude of gratitude. I want you to be focused every day. When you wake up to do your journaling, first thing in the morning, spending that 5 minutes doing your journaling, and then spend about 5 more minutes writing down 5 things that you're grateful for. 5 things that you're like, oh, I'm so glad that that exists in the world. That is so good that this thing exists. It can be big or small. I am grateful for the smell of my shampoo. I am grateful for the color that the grass turns. I am grateful because the magnolias in my front yard are blooming and there's pink and white petals all over the ground and it looks just so royal and opulent and I love it. It's beautiful. Even though it snowed today. It was 84 degrees yesterday and it snowed today. But either way, I'm so grateful that the magnolias bloomed when they did. All right. If you are consistently writing down things that make you grateful, things that make you feel like, oh, I'm so glad that's in my life, your brain can't tell you that your life is miserable. Your brain cannot convince you of that if you have an entire list of things where you're like, but life is good because this exists. Life is good because pizza is a thing. Life is good because I have the person that I love and I have my children. Life is good because the internet exists. Life is good because I have nice clothes that I like to wear. Life is good because I'm not sick. Life is good because I'm not in pain. Life is good because of these things. When you're constantly naming them, writing them down, again, your brain takes things seriously when you write them down. So if you're writing them down and regularly reviewing them, your brain is like, hey, life is good. Life is not as bad as I thought it was. Yes, bad things do happen. However, it is a good life. And then if you can hang on to a positive thought for 17 seconds, it's really all it takes. Hang on to that positive thought for 17 seconds, and your brain will offer you up another positive thought. It will offer you something else to be grateful for if you just hang on to feeling good for 17 seconds. Not even a half a minute, okay? 17 seconds. If you can focus that long on what you are grateful for, your brain will say, hey, what about this thing? This is something you're grateful for, right? I know you enjoy this. This is a great thing that you really like. Look at this thing. it will lead you towards more positive thoughts. That is you training your brain instead of you letting your brain be on autopilot. After you've been traumatized, your brain is on autopilot. It keeps on wanting to think the worst and respond like you're under threat. But you have to correct it and tell it that you are not under any threat. Everything's all right. Your life is not terrible. Okay? So that's why I always like Thirsty Thursdays. You put in the comments whatever is you're grateful for today. I want to hear about it and I want to share it with everybody. So if you put it in the comments, I'm going to share it with the group because you lighting somebody else's candle does not take away your flame. You showing somebody else the light is going to help you see the light a little bit better. Okay. It's going to be a good thing. Spread that. It's real easy when you've been through a trauma, when you have been through this type of betrayal. It is easy for you to say everything is bad and to only talk about bad things. And we have to retrain our brains after the trauma to say, no, 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 no. That's not what we're doing here. I am thinking of positive things. I want positive things. I am going for positive things in my life. Okay. The last thing I want to talk to you about real quick is a simple one, but oh, it's so difficult. I need you to stop asking him all those questions about the affair. Don't do it. Don't do it. You are at the point where you know about it already, okay? You are aware. You are well aware of what he has done. You are well aware to the point that you have already thought about it and you've already decided that you maybe want to stay and you want to work it out. That's all the information you need. Do not go digging for every little piece of information that you can get. It's going to cause you nothing but pain. When you are doing that, again, trauma, your brain is doing that on purpose. It is not trying to save you. It is not trying to help you. It is not trying to say, "Oh, look here, we can let go of this pain." It's not trying to do that. It's trying to compound the pain. It's trying to give you as much pain and as much reason as it can possibly give you to leave this person completely in the dust. That is what your brain is doing when it is insisting on asking the questions. Where did you go with her? Did you tell her you loved her? What positions were you in? How long has that been going on? All of the details is just ammunition you are stacking up against the person that you actually love and want to be with. That is the way it's designed. Your brain is trying to do that because it's presenting this person as a threat. And so, if you believe that they're a threat and you keep asking them lots of questions, you have mounds and mounds of evidence to use against them in the future. So, we've got to stop doing that. I know that's the most difficult thing. That is the biggest thing that all of my clients have the worst time with is trying not to ask all those questions. You get that question in your chest and you're like, I should ask him that question. And I need the answer to that question. Because if I don't have the answer to that question, I don't know anything. I don't know how this is really even supposed to go if I don't have the answer to that question. Your brain is fooling you. It is giving you false reasons to look for that particular answer. It wants you to just keep on collecting info, and it knows that you want to heal. It knows that you don't want to keep on thinking of them as the bad guy, but it presents it to you in a sneaky way. It says, "Oh no, if you just find this information out, then you can forgive them. Then it will be all right." You are always putting off your healing like that, though. If you are consistently like, oh, I have to have this answer first, then that means that you are constantly putting off the work of actually healing. Asking all the questions doesn't heal you. If it did, you'd be healed by now, wouldn't you? You have asked hundreds of them. You have asked question after question after question, seeking to understand, seeking to figure out where this threat even came from in the first place. That happened, you did it, and it didn't make you feel better. If it worked, I'd say do it. Okay. But I've done it. And I am a Gemini. I want to talk. I want to ask questions. And I'm telling you, that did not work. It was the most awful thing I could have done to myself. Because Every time I made a step towards healing, my brain was like, but what about this lie he told? What about this awful thing that he said? You don't want to forgive him. Then it's even harder. Now I got to battle against my own brain and the information that I collected to be able to get to a better place with him. So I'm going to tell you with all the love in my heart, stop asking him all those damn questions. Okay? It's not going to help you. All right. Now, I say that and I know. Remember, I said it feels like it's in your chest. It feels like you got to ask. It feels like I have to ask him a question. If you have that feeling, that's fine. And again, totally natural, exactly what our bodies and our brains do after a trauma. However, you don't have to fall for that. You don't have to ask the questions that it wants you to ask. You can ask good questions. So I suggest these: the N-T-H-E-A-N-D. It is from the good people at the Skin Deep. You can get this off of Amazon. That is the Healing Edition deck. That is all questions about communication, connection, trying to understand one another better, trying to understand where their thinking is, what they're feeling, that type of thing, instead of what are all the details of the actual affair. If you ask these questions, you may get a little bit closer. You may feel like the walls come down a little bit if you ask these questions. If you ask the questions that are in your head, you're not going to feel any closer. You're going to feel farther apart. It's guaranteed because that's the way it's designed. All right. So I'll give you a couple of these to ask instead of the ones that you want to ask. This one says, if I were fearless, what would happen next in my life? Ooh, girl, if you were fearless, you would fall back in love again and you'd be happy. I can tell you the answer to it, but I want you to ask him too. If I were fearless, what would happen next in my life? Okay, excellent question. The next one says, where would you say our relationship began? And where do you think it may end? That's a good question because all relationships end. I think people worry about the ending, but there is going to be an ending. We are human beings, we have a finite lifespan. Even if you are successful in the relationship, one of you will still pass away. One of you will not be here. The relationship will eventually end. So either you were very successful and you stayed together until the end of one of your lives, or you were less successful and you will part before that. That's the only two endings that there are going to be. Okay, so this is an interesting question. What does he think that the ending is going to be? Where would you say our relationship began, and where do you think it may end? Okay. I know ours began on the phone. We talked on the chat line. Oh, heard his voice and just did it for me. I was like, him. I want to talk to him. I have one more question. What do you think I should let go of and why? Right. And again, if you ask these questions back and forth, he might get this question too. He might get this question of you. You might have to tell him what you think he should let go of and why. Don't make everything be about the affair if you're asking these questions, okay? Don't just turn it around and be like, oh, well, I just want to talk about what you did. I just want to talk about you cheating. If you want real connection, play fair. Actually ask the questions and try and think past just this trauma. That's another way that it helps you. If you are asking these questions, there are other answers to be had. It's not just all about the affair and what has happened between him and somebody else. If you start to recognize that other things can be connected instead of just the affair, your brain will start to see those things instead of just wanting to talk about the affair. Okay. Good questions. All right. So, y'all let me know if you got any questions. I am here for you. Don't see anybody today thus far. All right. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is what I was just talking about. If I could see into your future, if you were fearless, what would happen next? You would fall in love all over again and you would be happy. That is what would happen if you were fearless. So, can you fall back in love after infidelity? That's what we're talking about today. And I'm here to tell you absolutely, yes, you can. Yes, you can fall in love. One of the biggest fears that women tell me after infidelity is even if we stay together, like, I don't think I'll ever love him the same way again. I don't think that that's going to happen. And that is fair. That is a completely fair way to feel about the situation. The truth is, you will not. You will not love him the same way you did before this happened. And that I can guarantee you. Let me just put a promise on that. So you don't even have to worry about that going forward at all anymore. You will not love him the same way. And there is nothing wrong with that. Just because um, you don't love them the same exact way doesn't mean that what you build next isn't going to be powerful. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be even deeper than what you had before. We are focusing on going to the next chapter of this story. This is your love story, okay? You first start off, you fall all in love, and it's kind of reckless, it's kind of innocent. You don't even care. Even the things that you're incompatible with, you believe magically that the two of you will be able to work these things out because you love one another. All right. Healing after infidelity doesn't take you back to that old love. That's a completely different mindset than where you are now. You can't get back there. You're going to be building a brand new love for this particular chapter of your love. After betrayal, your nervous system is going to kick in. Okay. It's going to want to protect you. It's going to want to throw the walls up. And that innocent love goes away. It changes. That doesn't mean that the love is gone. That's not what that means. It means that the relationship's in a rebuilding phase. You are actually working on rebuilding the relationship, working it out. All right. I talk about this in the phases of healing. You've got the devastation phase where you're just a pile on the floor. You can't get yourself together. You are just heartbroken, weeping, devastated, shattered. Okay. Then we've got the regulation phase where you start to gather yourself up. You want to get back up off the floor. You start to get shakily to your feet. Then there is the next phase where the two of you are rebuilding. This is the recreation phase. You are creating this relationship again. That's what we're talking about here. Recreating this relationship, giving you boundaries, feeling things out from who you were when you fell in love innocently to who you are now, knowing that this person is capable of doing the wrong things. You're capable too. Knowing the reality of the situation, what do you build from that? Your heart is not going to be broken forever. It's just protecting you right now exactly the way that it's supposed to. What we need to do is let it get out of that protection phase and start to heal and move forward. Okay. So, how the love comes back. Um, Love is going to come back through actions and safety, not feelings. That's hard because it was all feelings the first time, wasn't it? When you fell in love, it was all about the feelings. Okay. It was a whole bunch of brain chemistry. It was a whole bunch of dopamine going in your brain. It was serotonin. It was addiction. That is very, very close in chemical composition. Falling in love and being addicted to drugs, very, very close in chemical composition. It is that not being able to eat or sleep and obsessing over the thing, all of that is happening because of your hormones. That's all that ever was. So the intensity that you felt, that falling feeling that you felt was all brain chemistry stuff. Okay. Now we're going to rebuild it in a more realistic way, not just, oh, we're at the mercy of the chemicals. We are intentionally choosing this relationship now. We are intentionally choosing to love this person now. So that's going to take consistency, right? It's going to take emotional honesty. but not emotional honesty just to beat them over the head with it, okay? Not that kind. Not just, oh, I'm just being honest while you say something devastating, okay? It takes repairing conflict, being able to have conflict together and know how to repair it without everything falling all apart. It takes being able to touch one another safely, being able to reach out to one another, being able to have that person reach out to you, to be able to touch, to once you start touching and hugging more, that helps with the chemical part. The oxytocin will start to flow in your brain. That hug drug will start to flow again, and you'll start to feel some of that in love feeling as you start to touch again. And sharing the effort, like actually working together. I know it feels like he should be the one putting in all the effort, but you're the one who's hurt. So you've got to put in effort just to be able to feel better. You don't want to just be stuck waiting on him to fix you. No, that's just completely ridiculous. We're not waiting on that. You deserve better than that. You deserve to go ahead and start to come back from this and start to feel better as soon as possible, and you don't have to wait for him to start doing that. Love is not going to come back all at once. It comes back in small moments as you were enjoying each other, as you were touching one another, as you were having good times together. It's going to come back in those small moments. So you'll start to notice that you're able to laugh again. Not not that not that, okay, but actually smiling and laughing and opening yourself up and remembering that you think that this person is funny and he entertained you before, or enjoying things together and being able to laugh. Um, Relaxed conversations, where you're not constantly thinking about what can I ask him about the affair. You are wanting to ask him about regular everyday things. You're wanting to talk to him again. Um, Enjoying time together, going out on dates, having adventures together. I say you need to plan like 6 adventures a year. At least every other month, some little thing that you get to go out and do together as a couple. Go out and go to the theater and dress up really pretty. Um, all sorts of things. Go to the museum and do a scavenger hunt. All sorts of things that you could be doing every other month to enjoy one another again, to enjoy spending time. You need to be doing those things intentionally. And the attraction comes back too. You, in the moment, might be feeling like you're disgusted with him. That is a part of the trauma response. When you have been hurt, when you have been betrayed this way, your body and your brain get together and say, ew, we don't like him. And so then every time he comes anywhere near you, you get this grossed out feeling inside your body, inside your head. That's not real. He's not actually gross to you. Your body and your brain are trying to defend you so hard that it's making you believe that you think he's disgusting, trying to keep you away from him. Okay? It's not real. It's not what you actually feel about him. You are probably quite attracted to him. You wouldn't be with him if you weren't. But your brain, after this trauma, will tell you that, ew, I don't like him. He's disgusting. Don't touch me. Okay? Um, and more than anything, you're going to feel like a team again. You're going to be feeling like, okay, we're in this together again. Not just I'm over here on my own, struggling, trying to work it out, and he's over there on his own, and I don't really even want to mix with him. I don't want to even try to deal with him right now. It's the two of you doing the thing together. And that's when you start to realize, oh, we're really healing. Things are better. Things are cooking now. Many couples don't go back to the old relationship. They build a better one. And that's a good thing. That is exactly the way it's supposed to happen. You are with this person for a lifetime. That means that you are going to go through all of your stages together. And so you're going to have to fall back in love with this same person when you're a different person. You're a different person now than who you were before when you got hurt, when you were all innocent and all open and just willing to love and never believing that he could ever do something like this. You're a different person now. You have to learn to love as the person you are now, not that person. So we can't go back to that person, but it's the same way in every other thing. The phase of life where you have little children, that is a completely different love than when your children get older and they're able to do stuff on their own. Completely different area, completely different mindset. The relationship will be different. When the two of you have elderly parents and you have to take care of somebody who is family and you have those responsibilities on you, you're a completely different person. You got to learn to love in that phase. When your careers are progressing, you've got to learn to love one another when things are changing and they're not all stable. That has to be a thing that you do for your entire relationship, falling back in love with the person that you love in the situation that you're in. You can't let the situation dictate whether you love them or not, because then you're just never going to love anybody. Situation is not the point. Your decision, your consistency, your choice to love them is the point. So, the goal of love has never been to go backward. That's not what we are going for. We don't want to go back to where we were before. Relationships move through the phases of life together. Healing after betrayal creates a brand new phase that you get to go through together. Love after healing isn't that innocent love, it's intentional love. When you first fell in love, you had all those brain chemicals going. You did not intend to fall in love with this person. Your brain started working. Your brain was like, I like this person. That's a person. You should mate with this person. You should go ahead and link up with him. Yeah, I like him. I'm a little obsessed with him. Yeah, it starts off as lust. And then it's like infatuation, which is not quite love, but it feels like love. That's when you get all intense and can't think about anybody else. You just want to love only them. That's infatuation. Attachment is the level of love after that. The infatuation phase is where all those brain chemicals are working inside your head and inside your body. When you get to the attachment phase, you're choosing it, and you will choose it over and over and over again throughout your entire lifetime together, because that's the way it's supposed to happen. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not. It's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. We don't want to feel like, oh, we can't ever love again. We can love, it'll just be a little different this time. And who doesn't want to experience all the ways that you can love? You want to experience that, right? I want to experience that. I do. So if you're staying after the infidelity and you're trying to understand like where you are in the process, I created something that helps with that. The 5 hidden paths of women who stay after infidelity. It is a quiz. It will tell you where you are, what is going on, what are the decisions that you are making, what are the things that you are doing, and then where are you on that path? Where are you in your actual personal healing? Okay. So I'm going to put that in the comments, or send me a DM and I will send you the link for the 5 hidden paths of women who stay after betrayal, so that you can figure out exactly where you are on the path so that you can start heading in the right direction. Okay? One of the biggest fears that I face, that I deal with when I'm working with clients, is that you will not feel the same again. And we do not need to feel the same again. We just need to love. We know that we love. We just got to get back in contact with it. We got to feel it again. So you actually can fall back in love after infidelity. It is absolutely possible. It is very, very true. You can do it, but you've got to be intentional about it. You got to be consistent. You got to do the things that you did when you were in love with that person. That's how you fall back in love. How you feel the infatuation feeling again, that in love, that I'm falling for you type feeling. If you are intentional, you say, I love this person and I want to continuously do things that I did when I fell in love with this person. I want to feel good about doing that. When you do that and you do it consistently, you're consistently doing the things that you used to do for him. You used to cut his toenails. You used to rub lotion on his back. You used to, I don't know, pick with acne on his face. Whatever it is that you used to do for him, you start doing it with joy. You start doing it with love. When you do those things and you do them consistently, it reminds your brain and body of the last time that you did it so willingly and so happily. You were in love then. And then your brain is like, oh, are we going back to that? And it starts producing some of those same chemicals again for you. So it's not difficult to do. It's just the fact that when you are afraid, when you've been traumatized, when you have those walls up and you're listening to the fear speech inside your head, your brain is telling you that that's a dangerous thing to do. But if you decide, you're like, I used to do all these nice things for him, I'm going to pick two and start with those two, and I'm going to do them with all my heart. It reminds your brain and your body of when you fell in love, and you will feel those chemicals again. You can do that anytime throughout the relationship, not just after the trauma of infidelity. You can do that consistently through the relationship. We do it. We've been together for like 25 years. So 24. So when I want to feel that feeling like I used to feel, I go back and make sure that I'm doing things that I used to do when I felt like that, when it was strong, when I was like, oh, I'm so in love and I just want to do wonderful things for him. I do those things and I do them with enthusiasm. I'm excited about them. I try really hard to get back into that place mentally that I was at where I was like first falling in love with him and so excited to do nice things for him. And then my body remembers, and then you get that flood of chemicals and you will feel the in love feeling again. And it's cool because it's like sometimes do it at the same time, which is awesome. But sometimes you'll do it and then he'll do it and you'll do it back and forth and you'll fall for each other back and forth and back and forth. It's a very cool thing to happen, but it takes a little intention. Takes a little bit of consciousness of what you're doing, but it is a definite possibility to do. And this works through all of those phases of life that you're going to go through together. If you always come back to what did I do joyfully and lovingly that said that I love this person when I was in love, what did I do? Let me do those things again. When you do those things again, the feelings come back. All right. Does that all make sense? I hope it does. So let me know in the comments if you worry that you'll never feel the same again. Put a heart or yes in the comments. If you're catching this on replay, same thing. Put a heart or a yes in the comments. If you're like, I'll never feel the same again, that is nothing wrong with that. It's fine. It's fine that you feel like that. Don't let that stress you out. Don't let that make you feel like, oh, this is hopeless. We are not intending to go backward. We're going forward. We're going forward with the rest of our lives. Me and him, we're going into a whole new phase now. Our son is about to go to college. That's the last of our babies. That's the last of our kids in the house. But at the same time, like I told you before, my elderly aunt is going to be moving in with us. Brand new phase of life. Bang. Completely different phase of life than we've ever been in before. So the love that we're going to have to share now is going to be different than the love we had when we had kids in the house. It's going to be different than the love we had when we were all by ourselves and it was just us. It's going to be different, and that's the point. To live this entire life with somebody and have that love develop and mature and grow with you and go along with everything that you are doing in your life, including this healing from betrayal. Okay. That's why we got back together and we feel good, because we did not try and go back to the love that we had before. We developed a whole new love, whole new system for this particular part of our lives. And now a brand new part of our lives is going to come up. We're going to do the same thing again. And once you do it a couple of times, it gets easier the next time. So the more you practice it, the better it's going to be. Okay. All right. Let me see any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything going on. All right. I don't see anything. But if you would like to take my quiz, the 5 hidden paths of women who stay after infidelity, go ahead and message me. Go ahead and send me a little message. Tell me, let's see. Path is for the other one. DM me. What word do I want to say? Hidden. 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 The hidden paths of healing after infidelity, of actually where you are on the map of healing. That is going to tell you exactly where you are and what you should do from here. So go ahead and message me it hidden or comment hidden in the comments, and I will send you the link to get my quiz. How to find your path right now. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. I hear my honey. He just came in from work. So I'm about to wrap this on up so I can go be with him. Anyway, all right. The last thing, earlier today I was telling you about those other 4 things that you need to do. You need to do your breathing. You need to do your journaling. You need to do your gratitude practice, and you need to do less questions. Okay, we were talking about that before. All right. There is one more practice. I call those the practices. There is one more practice that is going to help you to start to regulate your body and your brain, get back in control after this trauma of infidelity. Okay. And that's a simple one. Do your affirmation. I need you to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself good things about yourself. When you have been traumatized, your body and your brain will tell you, no, everything is terrible. It's so awful, and you are awful. You're ugly, and that's why he didn't love you, and that's why you were sleeping with this other person. It will tell you bad things about yourself that are not true. Again, a lot of the bad things that your brain is saying right now, totally not true. Totally made up. Absolutely no proof behind them. But your brain will keep on saying them anyway. So when you're doing your affirmations on a regular basis, looking yourself in the eye, in the mirror, in the camera, wherever you are, and actually saying these affirmations to yourself, you are telling your body and your brain that you do not believe these negative things about yourself. You believe the good in you. And then when your brain starts to reach for those negative things, you can bring this moment to mind. When you looked yourself in the eye, you said this with all the conviction in your heart that you don't believe this bad thing. You believe the good things about yourself. When you do that and you call that to mind, your body is like, oh, wait a minute. She likes herself. So no, we like her too. We're not gonna act like we don't like her. We like ourselves. And so then it will ease up on you. It won't be always torturing you, trying to make you feel bad about yourself. Okay. So these are affirmation cards I got from Five Below. But honey, hit me up if you want affirmations. Put affirmation in the comments or affirmation in the DMs, and I will send you the link for my personal ones. These are the affirmations that I use, the affirmations that are specifically for healing and reconciling after infidelity. Put affirmation in the comments or DM me, and I will send you the link to get those. Okay, 60 days of affirmations, good stuff to hear about yourself. But these work for just going live. So today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. All right. Affirmations like that. Why can't you tell yourself that and believe it? Why can't you do that? Look yourself in the eye and say to yourself, today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. And believe it. I heard this affirmation. It was interesting. It said, say your name and that all only good things happen to you. My name is Nadasha and only good things happen to me. My name is Nadasha and only good things happen to me. My name's Nadasha and only good things happen to me. That's a great one. I love that. I heard that this week. I was like, I like that. That's a good one. If you're saying those things to yourself on a regular basis, your brain will have to believe you. What you consistently tell your brain is what your brain believes. So if your brain believes terrible things about you, it's because you've been saying terrible things about you. So if you change that up and you start saying good things about yourself, how wonderful you are, how excited, how happy, how wonderful that you are every day, all day, then your brain will believe that about you because your brain doesn't know the difference between truth and a lie. It does not know the difference between reality and make believe. So if you make believe, you believe these things about yourself, your brain will take it as reality. And then you don't have to keep fighting against your brain telling you awful things about yourself. You will have your brain who believes that you're wonderful. And you are. You are wonderful. In case nobody has told you this week, I want you to know to always remember that you are wonderful. This is a wonderful thing that you are doing. You have chosen the path of unconditional love. Even in your suffering, you chose love. We need more people like you in the world. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Don't let anybody tell you that you're a doormat for that. Don't let anybody say, oh, you're just a pick me for choosing to love. There is nothing wrong with that. There has never been anything wrong with that. And if you are thinking that there is something wrong with that, again, you've been traumatized. Your brain is lying to you. Okay? So remember, I need you to do your deep breathing. That's the first thing. I need you to do your deep breathing. I need you to do your journaling. I need you to do your gratitude practice. I need you to stop asking him all those questions. And I need you to do your affirmations on a daily basis all through the day. Okay. And more than anything, I need you to not do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. The fear and the pain after trauma will tell you the wrong path every single time. When you listen to that, you are on the hurting path. It is not the path of healing. That is the path of I am hurting in the moment and I am just following that pain wherever it may go. Don't listen to what the fear and the pain are telling you. Do the exact opposite. Turn it, flip it on its head. Do the exact opposite of whatever the fear and the pain are saying, and you will be on the healing path every time. Guaranteed, you will find that path. Okay. All right, y'all. That's about it. I don't see any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints. But if you're catching me on the replay, hashtag replay, put them in the comments. I will answer you next time, okay? All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much. I love you and I'm so, so proud of you. I am proud of you for this. I am proud of you for coming through such a painful time with love in your heart. You deserve all the love you want. You deserve breathtaking, exquisite love. And I believe you can have it because you are already on a good path to do it. Okay? Mwah! Love you. And I'll see you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, next Thursday for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, y'all.